All right. Good morning, guys. As I promised, I am here recording another vlog, podcast, video diary, whatever you guys want to call it. So, today's topic is the insecure boxer. And this topic is is it's a good one for me because I mean this is basically the story of my life. I was an insecure guy and I was depressed and anxious and having a really tough time with becoming a man and all those good things. And boxing changed my life. Um, but I was able to go to a gym where, well, I was going to therapy and going to the gym, so I became self-aware while I was working on myself in the gym, and the result was, I became more secure, became more confident, became humble, and yeah. But that is not the case for everyone that is going into boxing. So let's start off with a myth. Here's the myth: boxing is the loneliest sport. So act accordingly. I really don't. I From the competition aspect, right? There's a few one-on-one sports. You got wrestling, you got boxing, you got kickboxing, you got mixed martial arts, you got point karate, you got taekwondo. There's a lot of one-on-one sports. However, you cannot practice or train or become good uh, at boxing or any of these other sports by yourself. You you need a plethora of teachers, and every sparring partner will teach you something. Every coach will teach you something. Everybody that watches you in the gym and gives you a tip will teach you something. But if you want to be successful in boxing, you need to be open minded. And yes, you got to be the one to get in there and fight. But for you to be the best that you can be, it is best for you to be open minded. Okay. So the next thing on my list is the competitive nature of boxing. And we we as boxers, boxing coaches, athletes, we tend to have a competitive nature, right? This is why we got into what we got into in the first place. But we can't allow our egos to get in the way of the growth of ourselves and our team, our fighters, and, the people around us. Because what ends up happening is every boxing coach thinks that they know best. Well, not everyone, but a lot of boxing coaches think that they know what is best, that their style of boxing or their coaching or what they see is just superior to uh, everyone else. And this is just not correct. It's just not correct. There's always something that somebody on the outside could add in to help your fighter become better. They help your coaching become better, your system become better. So when it comes to the competitive nature of boxing, that is like the status quo. But what we really need to do is we need to subscribe to the collaborative nature of boxing. We need each other to get better. We need to go to other gyms. We need to hear other coaches. We need outside stimulus. We need to get out of our own gyms. We need to go spar with other guys that have different styles. We need to travel, and in order for a fighter to become experienced, they just can't do it inside of their own gym, right? So the next thing on the list is think about it: the insecure boxer, right? Like what causes that insecurity? A lot of us work so hard because we are insecure, and a lot of us aren't even aware of it. We're just unaware of it. But when you are learning boxing, if the only thing you are learning is how to fight, it's almost irresponsible if you think about it. Like someone's going to teach you how to become dangerous, how to be able to knock someone out with a single punch, and that could be really dangerous, right? You could hurt somebody pretty bad. And so if you're only learning how to fight and you're not learning how to control your emotions and, to be self-aware and become humble, you're missing the lessons. And I know that there's a lot of places out there that the coaches are, self-aware, secure, um, and understand the mental game of boxing. But I would say that those coaches are more on the rare side, right? I think a lot of these coaches bring their their boxers bring them up based off of strength and brawn and tough guy stuff, and I just don't think that's the way. I think the best way to do it is to box smart, to be a smart boxer. That is the goal. The goal of boxing is not to fight, it's to box smart. That way you have good defense, you have good instincts, and you go in that ring and you come out pretty much the same way that you went in, with everything intact. If you if you're in a gym where it's all about toughness, strength, and brawn, you might just fight through something that you might fight through something that is not beneficial to your health. And in boxing, we have this term called, we call it going out on our shield. And if it really comes to the longevity of you and your career, and you're in a fight and you're losing, and there's no way for you to win, what's the point of you taking permanent damage if you already know you lost the fight? Like, it, let's be smart and let's make strategic moves. Like, this sport is very dangerous, and let's just lose that tough guy mentality. Here's a quick story. I remember a guy I was training, and he was a mixed martial artist, so he was doing uh, some jujitsu, and he went to a jujitsu competition, and he told me about how he lost. He had like 3 matches. He lost 2 of them, and one of the guys that he lost to had him in. I don't know what the choke was called, but he was cutting off his air supply, and my guy decided to tap. And the advice from the other guy was, "Hey man, like, next time don't tap, just go to sleep." And it's like, for what? If you're stuck in a choke that you can't get out, and someone has your airway cut off, and you're seconds away from passing out, what's the point? Just tap. You got to know when to give up. And you have to be secure enough that you'll get it next time. You'll go back to the drawing board and you'll figure it out. And this is the topic of this talk, is the insecure boxer. Like, we have to become secure, because we will do things to prove how tough we are that could potentially get us killed. And I know that a lot of you guys might be thinking, well, that's why we got into this. And if that's why you got into this, to die a fighter, by all means, go for it. But this is just my advice, to live a long, prosperous life. You can't box forever. Like, you cannot box forever. At some point, time's going to catch up to you, time's undefeated. And then what are you going to do? If you're ring drunk, and, you know, and you can't hold a conversation, what kind of work are you going to do? What kind of life are you going to be able to provide for your family, if you continually go out on your shield, right? Like I said, this is what the insecure boxer does. That's exactly what he does. Okay. So aggression is a part of all of us, and boxing is supposed to tame that aggression. And you can see this, and not just in boxing, but in professional sports in general. Like, a lot of these guys, with that aggressive nature, it's what makes them so great at what they do, but it also gets them in trouble out off the field, outside the ring, in everyday life, right? We have to learn how to tame our inner dog, our inner fire, our inner aggression. We need to know when to turn it on and when to turn it off, because think about it. It's like a hair trigger, right? At some point, you're gonna blast somebody. You cannot have a hair trigger. You have to be in control of your emotions. You have to be self-aware, because you are making yourself more dangerous. So with that, inherent danger becomes you have to become more responsible. If you know how to fight, you can't just go out there with your chest all pumped up, ready to fight, hyper vigilant every day of your life, because at some point you're going to get yourself into some kind of trouble. Here's a quick story. Like, we visit gyms. Like, we take our fighters to spar at other gyms, and you can spot the insecure boxer, right? So we went to a gym, and I know one of the coaches over there. Actually, I don't know him. We've exchanged on social media. We talked back on social media before. He seemed kind of like standoffish. Like, I sent him a message. I'm like, "Yo, man, I'm gonna come check out the gym." He was like, okay." It's like, he wasn't really inviting. Like, "Oh yeah, man, please come down." Blah 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 blah. If a coach reaches out to me like, "Hey man, I want to come check out your gym," my first thought is, "Great, man, come in. Like, let's hang out, let's talk, let's network, let's exchange ideas." Now, I imagine the insecure, boxer slash trainer be thinking to themselves like, "Oh well, this guy, I don't know, man. He might be really good at what he does, or he might come over here and try to take my job or take my clients or something like that." And it's like, "Hey man, like, if you're a really great coach and you come to the gym and one of my boxers decides to go and train with you, great, man. That's awesome. Maybe it's a better fit. Uh, I'm secure. I know that at some point I will get another fighter, and I'm confident in my abilities, and I'm not gonna sweat it." But oh yeah, so back to the story. We go to the gym. The guy is like walking around with his chest all pumped up, like, "Hey man, I'm the alpha here. Like, this is my gym." And he's like talking to some of the fighters, like, "Hey guys, who told you to stop running?" Blah 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 blah. And it's like almost putting on an act. And you know, I feel like the best coaches, they go into the gym, and all the fighters just love them. It's not like there's no intimidation. There's no, oh, super machismo kind of giving off that bravado, that alpha male energy, that which I think is a facade anyway. It's like they walk in a gym and everybody's like, "Yo, what's up, coach?" Handshakes, high fives, hugs, you know, and hard work. That's about it. We, as a secure boxer, right? You don't need intimidation. Love is better. Going into a gym and have people love you is way better than going into a gym and have people fear you. And you guys might disagree, but when it comes to the collaborative nature of boxing, when you want to be the best at something, you need to get people to, want to work with you. You need people that want to spar with you. And if you just, running your macho tough guy stuff and you're just beating the brakes off of everybody all the time and not getting in the ring to just work on specific skills, then, you know, you're going to have the life of an insecure boxer. You're going to be lonely. And like I said, that's what a lot of people say, boxing is the loneliest sport. And no, it's not. You guys make it lonely because nobody wants to be around you because you're insecure and you're always trying to prove yourself to somebody. And it's just not cool. Get it together. Guys, get it together. All right. So the last thing on the list is, you learning boxing should make you more secure and more confident. It should. But keep this in mind, guys. As a secure boxer, people should love you more than they fear you. They should support you more than they hate you, right? They should support you more than they hate on you. um, and they should show up for you, and that's really how you build up. And this is how you build your base, your training base, your training partners, and eventually your fan base. It's your brand. And like I said, if you're on some tough guy BS, um, outside of competition, of course, no one's gonna like you, no one's gonna work with you, no one's gonna promote you, no one's gonna want to be around you. So guys, think about it. Use boxing to master your emotions and be more secure. All right, well, hope you guys like my rant. Um, if you're an insecure boxer and this is triggering for you, I'm sorry, but control your emotions. You'll be all right. And that's it. Hopefully, we will talk soon, and you guys are having a great day. Peace out.